It's been a while since I last saw a live dove. I spotted a dove perched on a thin branch through a corridor window. Unlike with doves in the picture I'd seen while researching St. Joseph, something about it feels off to me. Something about its weirdly shiny feathers, its calls, its movements. Its eyes are especially creepy. It's impossible to tell what it's thinking. Watch it hopping idly around and mutter myself about being called a symbol of peace. Those disagreeable eyes. I think back to my falling out with my Amitié partner the previous day. Actually, I'm not sure why I even had enough of a relationship to fall out in the first place. Still. What? Noticing me watching it, the dove is frozen, it's staring shrewdly back at me. As soon as my usual feline smile curves across my lips, the dove flaps off, just like her. No, I suppose I'm one who ran away from my home, my family. My thoughts all seem to be taking a turn for melancholy. I shake my head and start rearranging the pieces of a puzzle in my brain. I'm just running through my solution one more time before I present it. I did this with a case of disappearing bunnies too. The face of a culprit in that case flashes through my mind. I shake my tousled hair again and refocus on a case of the missing scripts. First, let's clearly define how the internet began. I quickly write down the case of the missing scripts. Initially, I thought the loss of the scripts was a malicious crime committed by a third party. Was that original assertion correct? Did the scripts go missing by accident, or was it intentional? Well, I don't think anyone in this school would be malicious, to be honest. And no one to blame me boring. Because if they were tidying up, they would have tied up a lot more than that, and just... why just that one face? I think it was somebody with good intentions. If that's the case, why did it happen? Why did it happen in the first? And there's that other mystery. The meaning of Saint Joseph on that note. What does Saint Joseph denote? Well, we know it's a spiral staircase, but we look there, it has nothing to do with that. I'm just going to do a quick search online if there's any special thing meaning about Saint Joseph. Nothing online seems to indicate St. Joseph means anything special other than, of course, St. Joseph. But we looked for a spiral staircase, it can't be there. And I don't know why somebody wrote down his name as Jesus' father, because that's, first of all, kind of debatable. And also, why would you need to write that down? I'm leaning towards a nickname purely because it's the only one which seems out of place here. We've been there. That one doesn't make sense. That one... After I finish putting the pieces together in my head, I give a bow of a dove has now vacated a final glare and head for chapel. I hope I got it right. I open the doors noisily, looking across the chapel towards the chancel. I see the two people I've summoned here. Suoh Shirahane and Chidori Takasaki. Shirahane is smiling, though her expression is somewhat troubled, and while Takasaki's usually irritated gaze is turned towards me. To be fair, if I was going to chapel and saw those two waiting for me, I'd be pleased and smiling ear to ear. The pair of them together looked like a religious painting of an aged Gabriel announcing Christ's incarnation. The Archangel, rejoicing in the incarnation of the Son of God, bewildered emotional Virgin Mary, hearing riches with child. The fact you've called us here must mean you found a culprit. Not quite. Are you here to apologise since you haven't invited Kamikaze Senpai? I'm guessing you want to get the tourists to break the news to her that you both are full of hot air? You're awfully chatty today. You must be pretty pissed off. She denies it, although her expression says otherwise, and she turns her head away. You've found scripts, haven't you? Shirahane says, looking like she's known the location all along, and I nod. But you just said you hadn't. I said I hadn't found the culprit. Although I'm loath to admit it myself, look at the cross that hangs above the chancel. It's just like in the Yatsura incident. I'm reminded of that earlier case. I don't understand. Of course she doesn't. Takasaki goes out of her way to associate with people as little as possible. So there's no way she'd know the details of an incident occurred before she transferred here. It was much ado about nothing. A big fuss about something that turned out to be a big no deal. The case of Mr. Scripps is very much in the same vein. Look over a pew where scripts have been left. First off, there was no culprit in this case. No culprit? They're saying it was some kind of accident, like a rat came off and ran with them. Come now, it might sound silly, but I'm obviously not saying an animal took them out. The wind blew scripts away or whatever. Just cut the chase, will you? I word a hand through my messy locks, preparing my spiel just as I would rehearse before launching my explanation of events. It's not like there was some malicious individual behind what happened, so there wasn't any culprit. There was someone motivated by good intentions. Good intentions? Well, obviously came completely out of left field. I smile at my Amitié partner's uncharacteristic reaction. Right. To put it simply, some good Samaritan took it upon themselves to hand them this new script Shirahane left on the pew. Thinking they were lost property. Hang on. Could have been lost and found in that case. She turns her irritated gaze on Shirahane, but my reading body shakes her head. They haven't been handing it in the teacher's lounge or at the dorms. Some good Samaritan. I might have picked up the script for us, but what good was that if it didn't hand it in? I wonder about the hostility of her gaze, but... Have you seen the Harry Potter movies? Frankly, Erika, no I haven't. I ask her a sudden question. What are you talking about? No, you haven't. I guess you're not that into movies. Yes, I've seen them. There's this music that plays in trailers like commercials, right? The background music that really draws you into a fantastical world. I always thought it was like the movie's main theme or protagonist. But afterwards I learned it's actually the Petau Hedwig's theme. Did you know that? Interesting. I didn't know that. I think I've heard of music since it's effectively the main theme, but... Really? I had no idea. Shirahane, a wide-eyed voice of surprise. Takasaki remains silent. And? So what? In other words, throw away your assumptions. This note to be found. I wave a piece of paper in front of her eyes. I thought this was a treasure map or a message that leads us to scripts. I didn't know you'd found something like that. Shirahane stares intently at the scrap of paper. She's obviously never heard of it either. The solution hasn't occurred to her upon seeing the message. This name here, Saint Joseph. I thought it was a clue as to the whereabouts of the script. So I investigated all sorts of places and things related to St. Joseph. Like the staircase? Very perceptive, yes. I searched the school staircases too, but in the end I found nothing. It was all just pointless legwork. It sure was. Smiling, I give my legs a pat and my Amity partner smiles widely back at me. I was right with St. Joseph indicating location of script, but I was wasting my time looking in places related to the name. In fact, I realised. I explained to them how a topic of nicknames had come up in a wise meaningless conversation I had. Nicknames? Of course, yeah, we had that conversation with, was it, Yes, I heard that some people give favourite objects their pet names. I never even considered that. Could understand giving names to people and pets. However, I had this preconceived notion that pet names are only for living things. Shirahane has probably grasped the right meaning by now. She looks on the chapel, her eyes huge. But Takasaki, not understanding, asks irritatedly about what I'm saying. It happens in Japan too, but overseas in particular, there's a tradition of giving nicknames to buildings. Like opera house and stuff. For example, the Saxon State Opera House in Germany. Originally it was called the Dresden National Opera House. But now it's known as the Semper Opera, after the architect Gottfried Semper. There were other examples of theatres and opera houses being named after the first performance held there, being given a nickname based on nearby streets. There's one in the city centre, actually, thinking about it. And you're saying she was finally cottoned on. Her expression softened slightly and she waits for me to go on. Yes. I figured that St. Joseph was a nickname for a place, for a building. So I went to a library and researched a history academy. And there it was. The St. Joseph Theatre. Or St. Joseph. I moved my wheelchair over to the right side of the chapel towards a door that's usually kept shut. The door doesn't give off a particular air of mystery. I'd always just assumed it just led to a storage room. I turned to my bewildered audience. Right, let's go. The underground theatre's this way. The route down to a theatre, which I'd thought was only accessible by a staircase, is a half slope and half stairway. Thanks to that, I'm able to descend in my wheelchair without any assistance. As we follow a dimly illuminated passage down, it really feels as though we're crossing into another realm. The air is cool and damp, driving away the thought of the hot weather outside. The way ahead is shrouded in darkness. Although the path which I'm venturing along for the first time feels rather long, I'm guessing it probably doesn't extend that far underground. A door similar to one we've entered through appears at the end of it. Put my hand on a brass knob. Then. Oh wow. Is this St. Joseph Theatre? I nod slightly, a silent name in response to Takasaki's whisper. I stare out at the underground theatre. It's like stepping into a movie set. I don't know if it's fate or what, but the first performance here was another story from Grimm's fairy tales. The story used was St. Joseph in the Forest. I suppose the theatre under the chapel didn't have such a good ring to it. I slowly survey the interior of the theatre, lit only by the dim electric lights. People started to call it the St. Joseph after the title of that first performance. I explained my name to them. The meaning behind the word was on the note is quite simple. We were saying that the 3 copies of the script had been taken down to the underground theatre. The arrow mark was to emphasise the need to head underground to a reader, in case it hasn't clicked yet. Who knew there was a place like this in the academy? That's got to be Sister Basket. Komikado Senpai? She appears from the depths of her theatre like a ghost, with Mrs. Script clutched in her hand. See, Miss Takasaki turns her gaze on me impatiently. It's not what you're thinking. I said there was no culprit, remember? I sent Komikado Senpai on ahead to make sure the scripts were here. They were here, just like you said, Yaegaki-san. I don't know who it was or what brought them down here, but did it be helpful? It's almost a day of a performance. Must have decided that since you're rehearsing, you best leave them here. I see, of course. We'd have to run through it here at least once before the real thing. What do you mean? Sister Basket said we recitations were held twice a year, right? It's our first time, but not the upperclassmen. Komikado Senpai has already experienced them, so she knew they were held down here. There's a moment's silence and she looks at me dispassionately. Well, I can't blame her. Yeah. But if she had a note to Komikado Senpai to start with, we'd probably known right away where the scripts were. Since the upperclassmen all know his place's nickname. Nickname? You mean the St. Joseph? She voiced her name in very matter-of-factly. I might have expected it, but I can't stop my shoulders from slumping. So everything we did was... I confirm we were indeed making things more difficult and drawn out where we need to be. Takasaki's shoulders drooped too. But still, it's wonderful we found scripts. Yes, it's really great. Shirahane takes the scripts from Komikado Senpai, then hands me and Takasaki our copies. Thank you for finding them, Erika-san. I'm so grateful. I tell you what, seeing you happy just makes me smile. Don't lay off. I didn't do it for you. Smiles anyway, unperturbed by my curt response. With my hair, my spirits dampened. Just accept us, thanks. It was Johanna's sake that you were looking for him, wasn't it? So close. Though I'm inclined to deny it, I can see that Takasaki's eyes aren't irritated, but shining earnestly. Yeah. After a moment of indecision, I nod. I see. So it was all for her. Her expression is pensive as I look at her. Her profile seems to blur after it's my explosive tempered older sister. My family left him on such bad terms. You did a good job of the role of a witch. You said it was just an idle play, but it seemed to me like you were taking it seriously. Her eyes narrow. She asked me what the heck I'm talking about. I don't know what it was examining about either. Still, I don't want to get out the wrong idea, so I'll probably try expressing my feelings more honestly. I don't like doing things half-assed. I want a VIP seat to do your very best performance. Her expression of bewilderment gradually turns into one of incredulity. Just you watch. I'll show you a difference between an amateur and a pro. My Amitié partner's face is suddenly lit by an innocent, girlish smile. The day of recitation. I take a break. Back in a mo. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.